Well, the One Punch Man drama keeps going. And just a couple hours ago, the director has left Twitter, which honestly I think is a great thing. Because I think the last thing he needs is constant notifications and mentions of harassment being sent at him out of ignorance of people that have no clue how anime production works, right? A lot of people just seem to think that JC staff unanimously, as well as this team working on it, is at fault. No, remember, it's the production committee's fault. JC staff's team working on this is specifically getting singled out because it's an easy target. It's like a face that you can actually attack. And because he had Twitter presence, obviously it hurts. There's a different video I want to make about, is JC staff actually completely innocent in this? Because obviously there has to be somebody at the very top being greedy and kind of accepting the deal with the production committee. That's a separate video I'll be making. But before we do that, there's this video, right? And it's all stemming from Nicholas Light. Everyone seems to be under the impression, because Nicholas has been the face of the One Punch Man Season 3 campaign, right? The hate campaign, for sure, that the director himself has quit. And there's been multiple, I gotta be careful here because Nicholas's penis might show up. Every 3 months, right? New drama happens, but it's not new drama. We're used to this. We've been here before. Lord of the Mysteries happened 3 months ago. It's the same fucking situation of Nick going in, making a lot of noise. People get annoyed at it, and then the fallout happens. It's like fucking clockwork. And this is a tweet again, right? This is gonna be a second video stuff, okay? There's some extra context here of people coming out of, you know, showing proof and receipts of he did this, he did that. And we're gonna be talking about this tweet in the video after this because I feel like I need to do my due diligence first. I need to watch this video first. And then after I gather my opinions about this, the next video we'll be talking about actually this. What's actually going on over here. Title of this is, the director of One Punch Man Season 3 is upset at me, specifically.
Had to see kind fans who had high expectations get angry and curse, saying, "You betrayed our expectations." So if you guys don't know who this is the director of One Punch Man Season 3. I have no problems with the director. I have no problems with JC staff. I've said this over and over and over.
I will agree that he, from the videos that I've seen, he is aware of the production committee and he has placed the blame onto them. But many people will then see stuff like this. Many people will see, where is this shit, right? He says he doesn't put fault in the director, but then he likes and encourages comments and blaming, even insulting the director. Stuff like this. And again, it's just the heart that he's pressing onto the actual like YouTube comments. You could argue that he's just spamming that shit. You know what I mean? You could argue that like if I truly wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, it's he's not reading the comments, he's just spamming the hearts because it's just cheap engagement that he gives to his followers and they feel kind of like happy that, oh my god, he hearted me. You know, it could be something like that. But like there's definitely has been other stuff that kind of shows that Nicholas may be actually upset at the director. I don't know. There was the incident with Sinchi making the video talking about the fan animation, about how the comparison was made, about how fan animators could do a better job than what JC staff did, right? Again, these are different things that exist on the internet that people are then using to say, no, he actually hates the director. And that's kind of where the discourse is happening.
Over again. And if you haven't heard me say it, let me repeat myself. My frustrations are not towards JC staff.
Sure.
I have nothing but all the love and praise in the world for JC staff.
Name 5 JC staff anime. Name 5. Name 10 books. Name 10 women. Name 5 JC staff anime. I can. Mao 2099. One Punch Man doesn't count. Boy-girl friendship. How about that one? We're watching Dad is a hero, Mom is a spirit, I'm a reincarnator. Do-over damsel, how about that? Railgun index, Danmachi, yeah, I know. But, you know, I feel like... Do you know JC staff anime, Nick?
My anger and frustrations are towards the committee, the higher-ups that are way higher than JC staff, that have given JC staff this impossible task.
Name 5 JC staff directors? I can't do that. I have a very hard time remembering director names, which is terrible. Vincent Chansard constantly is very memorable for me. Something about his name, it's because it's not a Japanese name. I don't know. Something about it just, I think Charizard. When I think Vincent Chansard, I remember the hype fight of Garfield versus, you know, Kurgan, as well as Like him pulling with the Sakuga scene, and I just remember Chansar. So I'm like, oh, it's kind of recognized. I genuinely cannot name fucking directors for the love of me. I can name like soundtrack composers like Hiroyuki Sawano, Taku Iwasaki, Shiro Sagetsu, but like for some reason, director names just doesn't click in my head.
Of animating One Punch Man Season 3. An anime that takes source material that is beyond talent itself, beyond out of this universe. Have you seen the One Punch Man panels? You're giving this studio, this director, a hentai director.
And I need to immediately refute this right now. Because this is misinformation that is being propagated to basically, again, shit on the director. Plenty of people work on hentai that work on regular anime. And specifically for this context, do you know who this is? Do you know who this guy is? This is the man responsible for One Punch Man redrawn manga, which the anime is based off of. And the reason that I bring this guy up is that he drew hentai. Am I wrong about this? Let me check. Yusuke Murata, hentai artist. Murata tried to turn One Punch Man into hentai so publisher wouldn't be too aggressive on scanlations. Murata is a bit of a pervert. I mean, have you seen his art? And the reason that I'm bringing this guy specifically is the base of this argument is if you're somehow involved in hentai, you are discredited as being competent. The person you are the source material you're glazing right now is off of probably one of like the best hentai artists out there. Shin Nagai, yeah, I'm sure he's working hentai too. And I would argue some hentai art animation is better than the seasonal anime slop that comes out. How do I know that? Don't ask me. If I'm wrong about Yusuke Murata being involved in hentai, hey, my bad. But I'm pretty sure that he's been involved in it, and it's very unfair to say, hentai artist this, therefore bad. No, the literal fucking manga redrawn guy is off of that brand.
I'm not discrediting his work, by the way, but you're giving this director 6 months to a year work of time to animate season 3 when everybody believes y'all had 6 years. Impossible.
It is impossible.
You could give this to any studio. It would be impossible.
Yeah.
Without.
You could give it to Ufotable, impossible. You could give it to literally any fucking talent, no matter how cracked they may be, without enough time to cook. It's not going to be peak.
Directors, animators, artists dying because of the overwork. I feel like this studio with this director, JC Staff, did the best they absolutely could.
Okay, that's reasonable. I think that is pretty much the consensus that everyone is at. It's just after we've acknowledged that, constant crying and complaining and being negative about something we already acknowledge, it gets annoying. That's why Nick is getting a lot of hate.
And I've said this over and over again.
How is this guy specifically singling out Nick, though? How does this title... Is this a clickbait title?
But then you get a tweet like this from the director.
Yeah.
You betrayed our expectations. We are talking to the committee. The committee betrayed our expectations.
Yes. Why are you getting mad at him, though? It's sad to see kind fans who had high expectations get angry and curse saying you betrayed our expectations. I read this tweet last video. Charlie Most Critical's video, I think. And I talked about it and I read this, and my first impression is, I pity this guy. This guy is a sacrificial pawn put into an impossible situation where he will get shit on no matter what happens. Time after time, months before this season even aired, during the summer, there was a leaked Twitter account replying to this guy saying, are you the One Punch Man director? Go look at my old One Punch Man videos. This guy responds, yes, and he explains in depth about how he's not suited for this, and he's wondering, why is this happening to me? I've seen so many different examples of this guy pleading for mercy, making, basically stances that like, you need to understand this is a fucked up project and we can't do anything about this, so please be kind with your words. And I feel like when I read this, this isn't him lashing out at Nick or anyone else. This is him saying, damn, like I feel dishonored. That like, and this is a very Japanese culture thing, where this person isn't upset at the fans. This person is frustrated at the situation and is dishonored and feels like he is letting down One Punch Man as the brand and the children who are very excited about this, the kids, you know, the fans, right, whoever, us included. He's disappointed that they are let down because of this impossible situation. That's how I interpret this tweet. I find it very hard to understand how this is specifically attacking Nicholas Light in this situation.
We have been waiting 6 years for One Punch Man Season 3 just to get One Frame Man. And that's not disrespect to the studio, to the artists. That's all disrespect to the committee. You betrayed our expectations. I'm sorry you did. You did. And if you think that's towards you, you're creating scenarios. People are directing their anger towards you because they're...
I think you're creating scenarios here. Is this a language barrier gap? Am I crazy? The director is creating a scenario in which he is becoming the victim, blaming fucking American YouTuber reactors? Does he even know Nick? Which comes to question of this. Now I understand why his ass got exiled from the K-pop community. Hey Nick, ever wonder why literally everyone knowledgeable in the field of animation anime, but this is kind of irrelevant, but the tweet is here. I woke up this morning was shocked. We gotta read the full tweet right over here. I woke up this morning was shocked. A while ago I was told by everyone to block a few people and I did. I don't even know who this guy is. I think this guy specifically is mentioning about Nick right now. Why am I supposed to have sent him a message? To begin with, again, these are just assumptions, but this is off of the response off of this video, I guess, kind of popping off. And the timing of this tweet too, right? If you look at the tweet, 8:03 a.m. October 25th, October 22nd, October 25th. Sorry, October 22nd, 2025. You look at the time of this upload, it seems to kind of line up. So I think it's reasonable to assume that this tweet is a response to the video. To begin with, I've gotten them blocked and locked out. I don't even have slightest thing to say to him, nor do I have acknowledge his existence. Who on earth are these people? This is troubling. Let's all stop arguing with each other. Let's talk about something fun instead. I feel like Nick is straight up jumping to conclusions. Thank you, Athenes, for the 16 months. Appreciate you. I think that this is another situation where he's flying too close to the sun. He is the biggest creator for anime reactions. He does dominate the views. Absolutely, his ego is stoked. But this is some insane levels of like main character syndrome to think that this tweet that has nothing to do with you, you interpret it, and how are you the victim of this? I read this and I think he is frustrated with the situation and he is disappointed and he is straight up saying, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry that like we betrayed your expectations and it's fucked up. I just don't understand this part.
They're uneducated, and you know they're uneducated. You know this. The average anime fan does not know the business, the anime business, what you do at your desks. The average anime fan doesn't give a fuck about the business.
That's why it's so important for people with a lot of influence and reach to know their shit, to understand, where the blame should be directed to. And I think Nick has been doing that. I've heard him say production committee. He knows. The other engagement of him engaging with those, tweets or comments or whatever, right? That is blaming the director. That's kind of weird. You could, again, play the benefit of the doubt and say he just clicking them without even reading the comments, but okay.
About the people working behind the scenes. All they want is a good anime. Am I the average anime fan? No. This is my life. This is my job. I'm not an anime expert. I'm not an animation expert.
What are you then?
I know the industry, or at least I'm learning about the industry a little more every single day. Enough to know.
Which I think is a good thing overall. I think antagonizing Nicholas Light is not going to make him behave the way that you want him to. You need to be supportive and encouraging. I know it sounds kind of corny, but like straight up, the more you antagonize somebody, the more they'll be like, sure, I'll play the fucking villain part then.
Oh, it's not your fault, Mr. Director. It's not JC Stapp's fault, Mr. Director. It's the committee's fault. So when you make a tweet like this, it's sad to see kind fans who had high expectations get angry and curse saying you betrayed our expectations.
Yeah.
I think you should be redirecting that anger towards the higher ups.
I think this is what he's doing. Because if you don't know about Japanese corporate structure, you can't just tag Bandai Namco and says, fuck you. It's a very unfair corporate structure where you're expected to obey no matter what. This is like vague tweeting. This is not vague tweeting at Nick. This is vague tweeting at Bandai Namco saying, we're sorry, the fans are upset. I feel so sad about this situation. And hints that there are stuff happening behind the scenes that I can't control. How the fuck do you take this and apply it to you? It's just, I think Nick is again just way too emotional about this, is not thinking clearly. I think he's making a mistake here. This makes no sense to me.
That have made the fans angry at you, wrongfully mad at you. It's not our fault. We're fans. We're pissed off. When we see the quality that we've been given, how do you expect people not to be pissed?
He's also, Shin Nagai, the director is not saying that the complaints are not allowed, by the way. He's saying it's sad to see it. He's genuinely frustrated at this. He's upset that One Punch Mans are let down, and obviously the director is working on this, so he himself feels ashamed of it. That's what this tweet is to me. What is this made up situation?
It's garbage. And I'm not saying your work is garbage. I'm saying the committee treats you like garbage. They give you 6 months, I think it was 6 months or a year, to work on an anime that should take years and years to make. That's how good this arc is. That's how good these panels are to bring them to life. It doesn't end there. There's going to be more tweets. But I want to focus on this one right now because this is where I found all this information.
Sure.
Lone Wolf Shadow says, this is who y'all hurting, by the way.
Bro is arguing with the furry. He's in too deep. He's pulling up random fucking furry tweets. Here we go.
Y'all shouldn't be able to sleep at night. Someone who's given it their all against all odds. You're not a true One Punch Man fan because One Punch Man is all about people doing their best. I'll always stand by him and always try to spread positivity.
I think this is who the director is right now. I think he can't do anything about it, but he's pulling up, he's trying his best, and he's trying to remain positive and deliver something. And you know what? You know what the haters are feeling like? Can we find one? I'm trying to find like I feel like people that's still just dragging this and has no understanding is this. I'm just straight up bringing this, bro. So when I hear Nicholas Light, Lone Wolf Shadow, I think is absolutely correct here. This is the man that you're fucking up. He's literally put under a sacrifice. He's been casted as the sacrifice. And everybody is throwing stones at him. Now, Nick isn't. Nick is trying to blame the committee, but there's going to be people shitting on JC's staff, right? There are going to be people shitting on the director. Those people do exist, and this guy is responding to that. I see nothing wrong with this specific tweet, though. You're not a true One Punch Man fans because One Punch Man is all about people doing their best. And here's the discourse. Are you a true One Punch Man fan if you don't complain and criticize? Well, there's always a spectrum, and there's always going to be absolutes. I think that if you are complacent and just eat up trash for what it is, and you say, oh, thank you, Bandai Namco, please give us more fucking mid, nothing will change. That's why you need to vote with your wallet, right? You need to make some noise. Like, it's basically like protesting, right? You got to pull up. You can't just stay silent. That I acknowledge, for sure. But what I see happening is beyond just like protest. There is actual like rioting happening. And this analogy may not really be a good example. What I'm trying to say is no matter how good intent you have, anything excessive can be bad. For example, water is good. Eating healthy foods is good. You eat too much of it, what happens? It's fucking bad. Let's apply that concept here. Everyone acknowledges that One Punch Man is shit right now and that there should have been a better product. This is something everyone agrees upon. No one is blindly glazing saying this is the fucking pinnacle of One Punch Man. A lot of people have accepted that this is fucking dog shit, so let's just work with what we got. But when you then go beyond that and continue to fucking clown on it, shit on it, of something like it's like this too. Have you ever worked on let's say, have you ever worked at a job where it just fucking sucks? Maybe it's your first fast food job ever. Maybe it's like school and everyone is suffering together. And basically, what I'm trying to say is, when everything is shitty, have you ever had that one person that just constantly complains about something everyone already knows and becomes annoying? When I'm in those situations like McDonald's, working at fucking McDonald's, putting the fries in the bag, or part of some really hard school curriculum everyone's suffering, I try to just like ride the wave. I try to just like have fun with what we got, because this is the situation. Everything fucking sucks and you can't really do anything about it. So I have two choices I can make. I can either choose to be a piece of shit and continue to fucking cry and complain. That will only make other people more pissed off. Or I can choose to be like, yeah, it sucks, but let's just enjoy the chaos. Let's just enjoy it for what it is, meme on it when we need to, and just have fun with it. And I know that there has been other fucking people, whether it be in a work setting or a school setting, where all they do is just fucking complain about something we already acknowledge. And again, their complaints are true. They are right. But you do it excessively, and you can't expect other people to get annoyed at you. And now we come back to this example, Nick, right? I think that he has good intents. I think that his complaints and frustrations come from legitimate sources. But when you go beyond the line of which most people agree is reasonable, and listen, he is a very extreme, exaggerated guy. Look at his content. It's over-the-top reactions. That's his brand. And he can do that. There's no shame in doing that. You can do that all you want. That's how he became #1. But like, once you keep doing that, you can't expect other people to not say you're fucking annoying. Like, you have all the rights to complain and do whatever you want. And other people can also say you're fucking annoying. And you can't play victim at that point, right? Because that's double. Like, you're making the cake and eat it too. If you're going to do something that's going to rile up people and be volatile, don't be surprised when people get fucking upset, right? You got to deal with that shit.
Yeah! I'm an ass kisser, dick sucker. You are the fucking problem. You are the fucking problem. You're the reason why these committees give us what they give us. You're the reason why we get the One Punch Man season 3s.
I think this guy isn't saying One Punch Man is really good. Based on the framing of this, I think he is aware that like this is an impossible situation, that nothing can be done. So let's just try to have a good time in a shitty situation is the vibe that I'm getting off of this. Maybe he's not like that at all, but that's kind of my first impression.
The Uzamakis by Junji Ito, the beginning after the ends, the Berserk CGI bullshit, the Blue Lock season 2s. It's because you enable this behavior. Oh, they're giving it their best. We're not directing the anger at the studios. And if people are, like I said, it's because they're uneducated. Sure. And the studios should know this, that the average fan does not know the anime business. You know what keeps me up at night?
But again, this is the thing. He's very aware of the production committee and where the blame should go. What makes me really confused is why he's making this video blaming the fucking director for this tweet. Because what he's saying and his actions are contradicting. That like he knows that like it shouldn't go to the director, yet he misinterprets and represents the director's tweet as antagonizing the fans. And like, what? Like, am I fucking crazy right now?
One Punch Man season 3 because of how shit it looks. It's not my job to pat people on the back, to be the father of this studio. They know it's not their fault. I know.
No one's asking you to pat them on the back. They're just saying, like, you don't have to be egregiously fucking clowning and misrepresenting tweets like this shit. Like, this is kind of where the fallout comes from. Probably up till this point, it's been pretty safe. Other than the random receipts, again, of him engaging with, like, anti, director comments, I think he's done a pretty decent job clowning on it for sure. But, like, this video, I think, is, like, the turning point where the blame is now being shifted at the director off of a tweet that he didn't really understand.
It's not their fault, but I'm not going to sit here like, oh, you did good. You did good, Bobby.
No one is saying this is a good job. They're just saying, damn, these dudes are fucking dead. He's already dead. You know what I mean? It's like that one Simpsons meme. This one. This is what I see. He's already dead, stop. I'm like, this is a shitty situation and no one's saying this is a good thing. It's just like, damn, like, y'all need to fucking just stop with this. And I'm not talking about Nick. I'm talking about many of the misinformed people out there.
You did really good. You did good. You coochie cool. That's not my job. My job is to watch an anime and review it. And if I hate it, I will hate it.
Bro thinks this is a job. Get a real job, bro. Myself included. Put the fries in the bag.
Speak aggressively. I feel like that's the best way to get a point across. It shows my passion. It shows that I don't like what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
I criticize games the same way.
Yeah.
Games that make billions of fucking dollars.
Shout outs to Genshin Impact.
I criticize TV shows, movies the same way because at the end of the day, I am a fan. This is how I talked when I was a kid, when I was a teenager. Even musicians and artists' music. When
Yes.
their album is shit, I will say the album is shit. I'm not saying that for directors to off themselves. I have to say off for YouTube monetization and, issues and shit. I don't say this shit as a personal attack. I am reviewing art. Once you put art into the world, it's allowed to be criticized by others, and I'm giving fair criticism.
I think that the very interesting thing with Nicholas Light is he's not this clown that you may think he is off of the over-exaggerated reactions that he publishes on YouTube. This is not a one-time incident, by the way. He's been part of many different fandoms whenever something is trending each start of the season, and something like this happens. Like, again, last summer, what was it? It was Lord of the Mysteries, right? And before that, there's many different incidents with Boruto fandom or whatever. I don't really have the context in that. But what I'm trying to say is, he's a very smart guy in the way that he is able to stoke the flames of controversy into his own end while writing a win condition that is undeniable. And what is the win condition right now? That art is free to be criticized, and he is giving valid hate to One Punch Man because it does suck right now and it deserves way better. Right? He's absolutely farming the shit out of this. Does he care about what he's talking about? Yeah, I don't think he's necessarily grifting. Grifting, again, is the act of what? Saying things that you don't really believe in, but you know that an audience exists, therefore you farm that. It's like very disingenuous farming of ideals that you don't believe in. I do believe that he's a mega fan. But whether or not he is conscious or subconscious of his decisions, he always takes it so fucking far. Because again, everybody, I don't want to say everybody because you don't deal in absolutes, but from what I've experienced, most people are under the assumption that like, this fucking sucks. And then it's, should we just have fun with it for what we got? And if we have fun with it for what we got, and make a good scenario of a shitty situation, just like the example that I said of you're working at a shitty job, you're at school under a shitty circumstance, should you constantly complain and cry over and over again? Do you think that's actually going to make change? I don't think making complaints on YouTube is going to do shit. I think what we need to do is domestic influence is the most important thing. Bandai Namco, what are the odds Bandai Namco actually does something because Nick made a video that gets 1 million views? Very little. Does that mean he shouldn't do it because it's not like the most efficient or objective thing? No, he can do whatever you want. But I'm saying like, this is not really the way to do it. Domestic influences, and what are the Japanese people thinking about right now? And looking at the tweet of how he's saying it's kind of sad to see fans who had high expectations get angry and curse saying you betrayed our expectations. Is this international fans? Or do you think that it's like Japanese audience complaining and crying? So the more I think about this, it all stems from this tweet. Nick is popping off because of this tweet, which I don't think even has Nick even involved, because Japanese audience do not give a fuck about international takes. I agree that Nick's videos do well to a Japanese audience. There are other people who take his videos and add Japanese subs, and there are Japanese fans. For sure, I will acknowledge that. But it's again hard for me to imagine that like this tweet was singling out Nicholas Light in a way that is condemning the fans, when I think again it's a plea of mercy and him saying, I feel dishonored that this is the best we can give to you right now. I'm sorry, fans. That's how it sounds to me.
I'm not just saying this shit sucks. I'm explaining to you why it sucks. And I'm telling you who I'm angry at. And this leads to the final post that I want to talk about. It's due to the influence of big accounts constantly telling them that it's bad. Oh, I wonder who the big account is. How about you, Ted?
You, Nick. It's you. I'm pretty sure this guy's posting your fucking penis on Twitter too. Why is it that every fucking beginning of a new season, no, it's not, it's this guy. do not go to this guy. Don't look at this. Okay, do not scroll this shit. For fucking some reason, I have to look at Nicholas Light's fucking hog every 3 months as he gets into a new drama. Tourists find out who he is. They do dig up and they find out, holy shit, he had an OnlyFans. It's just like, I gotta see his penis again?
Me, stupid motherfucker, when it's actually pretty good. It's not pretty good. It's pretty.
Let's see. Is it pretty good? It's not pretty good though. It's not even good. It's pretty bad. With hints of potential being shown. Only 2 episodes so far. We'll wait.
Bad. Why are we gaslighting him? Why are we treating the director like a child? It's not his fault, but there's no reason to lie to him. You're doing more damage that way by...
He is coddling the director because he is empathizing with this guy for getting so much harassment and hate off of this, you know, hate campaign, which Nicholas Light is the face of. But here's the thing. Nick isn't the one saying direct to hate to the director. He's not saying that. He says Bandai Namco. He says production committee. He's clearly aware of it. But no matter what, right? There's a lot of fucking stupid people out there. And it's not Nick's fault that there's a lot of stupid people out there. But there's a lot of dumb, ignorant people that will just see headlines and videos without actually watching the entire thing, thinking, oh, this is the popular thing to hate on. This is a bandwagon. And unfortunately, the director is getting a lot of hate. Hate that I'm sure Nick wouldn't, you know, tolerate. I don't think he would ever say direct it, but it's still happening. That's why this guy, Lone Wolf, who clearly has a bias against Nick, who is an anti-Nicholas Light, is basically saying and coddling this shit. It makes sense to me. I'm not justifying the situation. I'm explaining to you this is the logic of why it's happening.
That way by gaslighting the motherfucker. Sadly, negativity gets more views. Even those who are praising it are being rated by negative comments trying to manipulate them. No one's trying to manipulate them. Your toxic positivity is trying to
manipulate.
Positivity is trying to manipulate the truth.
The toxic positivity absolutely does exist. People who will completely just glob up and lick the boot to the corporate boot that is giving you a mediocre product. And again, if you don't go against that, right, then they're going to give you the slop. But again, it's like a spectrum. And it's so easy to pick out the extreme ends of the spectrum and crucify them. In this incident, yes, this does feel like toxic positivity.
I don't want the attacks to be directed at you. If you think it's dangerous, stay silent and change the topic. So you see, this is what the world has become. You can't be honest. And the toxic positivity will always be seen as, yeah, you're a good person.
There is. You can be honest. But again, just like how he says toxic positivity, there's also toxic negativity. This is like fucking politics all over again with retards saying alt-right this, alt-left that. I think Nick, low-key, is on a spectrum of toxic negativity where it's no longer productive. You're just fucking... You're literally misrepresenting this guy and dragging his name off of an emotional reaction, which I think everybody can make mistakes. I make mistakes too. I think Nick is making a mistake right now and he's frustrated with all the fucking haters constantly pinging him. And that's what happens, right? Because he's a big target. And it's kind of ironic right now. It's really poetic how JC Staff, they're the face that's easy to shit on right now. They're big. It's an easy target. Just like Nick, and One Punch Man is also a very easy target because it's big, it's popular. You know who else is an easy target? Nicholas Light. He's a very easy target to shit on him. That's why there's a lot of people constantly tweeting, pinging shit. Some of them may be justified. Some of them, I'm sure, goes beyond. And then what do people do? Pick out the extremes and position themselves as righteous. I think it's a bunch of fucking extreme people on each spectrum throwing shit at each other. This is toxic positivity and toxic negativity in one. I think the productive way is my stance. What is my stance? Acknowledge who the wrongdoers are. It's the production committee. It's Bandai Namco. JC Staff is being thrown under the bus. Does JC Staff are they completely innocent? I don't necessarily think so. Again, there's a different video I wanted to make about JC Staff, but there's definitely top brass people who accepted a deal with Bandai Namco. Now, the corporate structure. Do you think they have any say in this? I don't know. What I'm trying to say is you should identify who the problem is. You should acknowledge that. And after you've acknowledged that this is a shitty situation, we can't have anything good come from it, what should we do? Should we be that kid in the class or that coworker at work who constantly just shits and complains and cries? Or should you try to have some fun with what we got? That's why in my reactions, do I say this is fucking peak? I do, in a subjective way of like how I'm feeling about it. But the production value is garbage. So it's like I made a choice to, I could focus on the negatives and be a downer, or I could have some fun with it and make the good of a situation. And everyone has a choice that they can make. So like when Nick makes this choice, like again, the whole thing is you are valid in the way you feel, but don't be surprised when you're gonna have schizos like this coming at you, because you can't fucking make the cake and eat it too.
Person, but then aggressive negativity will be seen as you're the fucking devil. And I don't even label what I do or how I'm talking as negativity. I just label it the truth. Just because I'm a big account, I can't say the truth. I have to.
You can say the truth, but you fucking take it to the next level. Why do I not get any hate for this, by the way? Well, it's because I have 50k subs. My viewership is insignificant to Nicholas Light's videos. His presence online is way big. He's an easier target. So you could say that maybe if I had his platform and his engagement, maybe I get shit on it too. I don't really think that argument really makes sense, because I think it's the overall attitude and the impressions people get. You're in every video, including mine, talking about farming One Punch Man hate, right? And listen, no one is, again, saying this is a good product unless there are delusional people like this saying it's pretty good. But like when you go out of your way to be the face of this campaign of negativity that could literally be toxic negativity, not even productive at this point, and then you gaslight the director by misinterpreting his tweet, even this situation will make people hate you even more. He's gone fucking private on Twitter now, right? He's on vacation. This happens every fucking time. He close way too close to the sun. He flies, he has good intentions. He gets way too emotional. He flies too close to the sun. He gets burnt, and it's a repeat over and over again. And I have to see his fucking penis on the Twitter timeline in 3-month intervals.
To sugarcoat everything. I have to treat directors and animes as if they're fucking babies. They know.
No one's saying treat them as babies. They're saying treat them as real people with real emotions.
Oh, I'm not mad at them. I say it again and again and again that I am not mad or frustrated at the director or...
Yeah, but what the fuck is this tweet though? Like, I agree that you're not mad at the director. Up until this video where you call his tweet as attacking you. What is this?
For the fucking artist. I am married to an artist. I understand the amount of time, passion, blood, sweat, and tears that goes into art. I say it again and again and again and again that I am directing this anger and frustration at the business Suits and Ties.
Sure.
And the fact that the director and this stupid motherfucker right here
Lone Wolf
is directing, like basically calling us haters and saying we're negative and farming views and
you are negative. You are farming views. There's no shame in it. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? We're not farming views? Are you serious? Everybody's farming views. This is content creation. There's no shame in farming views. There's no shame in clout chasing, honestly. Unless you take it to the next level. Again, anything with moderation. There's no inherent evil off of farming the drama negativity. What am I doing right now? I'm fucking farming the guy who is in the spotlight of controversies because it's going to get me the fucking views. But at the very least, I try to approach it in a genuine and authentic way and give you my opinions about it. There's no shame about it. Stand proud. Just admit it.
negativity. We're speaking the truth. I'm on your side. People have waited 6 years for One Punch Man Season 3. One Punch Man, one of the biggest IPs in the universe, in the anime universe. But bro, my fucking dead grandparents could probably say One Punch Man. They probably knew what it was. They've seen Saitama's bald ass head. And this is what we get. We get a flash animation. Oh, you just said you respect the artist, but you're calling it flash animation. They had no other choice.
You can respect the artist and still call it a flash animation. You can still call it one frame, man. That is a fact.
Looks like this because of the limited time and resources that they were given. That's where I'm angry at. That's who I'm angry at. Why are we redirecting the hate?
To you? Because you are the face of this negative campaign. Whether you like it or not, whether you mean it or not, the outcome won't change. And there's something poetic about this, of how people immediately jump on the director and JC staff because they are the face of One Punch Man. You know what I mean? People are also shitting on Nicholas Light because he is the face of this negative campaign. Whether, again, it's actually kind of beautiful if you think about it, right? Because of his involvement in constant farming engagement off of the negativity that takes it to the next level, he's recognized as like the face to blame for all the negative shit that happens from the crash out of these tweets. This is just fucking cinema. Who wrote this plot?
Towards people like me. You have thousands of accounts coming and glazing all over One Punch Man. But then you have somebody like me, and I'm like, bro, what I'm seeing isn't good. So I'm going to say it's not good. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything.
I didn't sugarcoat it either. I literally make fun of the sliding. I make fun of all the bullshit happening. The walking is awkward. Why don't I get the hate? I guess we'll just have to leave it up to, because I'm an insignificant, creator that has 20 times less subs than Nicholas Light. So yeah, I guess I'm just hidden behind all that, right? Let's just go with that.
I'm not gonna baby anybody. And of course, all the One Punch Man fan accounts are gonna say I'm evil. Why are you ruining our precious time? If you like something, you like something. Like it. I'm not telling you not to like something, but I'm telling you that I don't like something.
But like, because of the presence you have and the visibility, you are again that really annoying loud kid at school. No matter how valid your concerns may be, people have to hear your voice and they're upset and frustrated. And that is the consequence that comes with being number one. That's it. And again, right? This is a reality that he must face. Because it's some corny ass shit of, with great powers comes great responsibility. You're free to do whatever you want. You can meme on it, clown on it. But because of your presence, it penetrates through a lot of different spheres, little bubbles. Everyone is now aware that you are the face of this shit. And the more that you emotionally break down and misinterpret this fucking director's tweet to the point that he's closed it off, it's gonna make it worse. I'm trying to look at this in an objective way. And I do like Nicholas Light. There is a way that you can be friendly with other people without agreeing with everything that they say. I think videos like this just label Nicholas Light as more of just like a brain dead hater. I think incidents like this paint him in a very disingenuous way. More people will smear on him as time goes. And I've been warning him about this shit since Lord of the Mysteries days this summer. How many videos did we farm of his crash out at the community? Do you think he actually watched those videos and listened to my opinions? No, because it's just drama farming engagement. So if he's just doing this out of rage baiting and he's farming the engagement and he doesn't really care about the negative consequences that's going to build up over and over, then it is what it is. Here's the thing too. Remember the Lord of the Mysteries drama where he was upset at Ondu? Shout outs to Ondu, React by the way, and upset at me too of our comment section. Our comment section, what was it? It is just brigaded with Nicholas Light haters. Shitting on him, complaining about him. All the people that he's blocked on Twitter and YouTube have come to our platform. These are not our fans. These are his fucking haters. And I said, you can't expect us to fucking do your PR job. Your actions are going to lead towards more people uniting against you. If you're fine with that and you just want the engagement, go ahead. But like, you have to be aware, the more you present yourself like this, the more tarnished your brand becomes. No matter how objectively truth that you're seeking, the outcome doesn't change. The way that you go about it is very volatile and like negative. And it's gonna have people hate on you more, and it's bad for you. Here's the other thing too. If you are complicit and quiet, nothing will change is something I agree with. Let's bring back the example of the fast food environment where everything fucking sucks. Everyone acknowledges that sucks. And couple workers were just having fun with it. It's the chaos. Many people are lining up. Orders are coming in. We're so fucking behind. I gotta go to the fucking freezer to grab a bunch of fucking patties, but it is what it is. I just laugh it off and say, it is what it is. Does that mean that the person that is complaining saying, this fucking sucks, this job fucking sucks, right? That person is valid, but directing that complaint in an area where people are hearing that and getting tilted by it doesn't help the overall cause. If your goal truly is to target this direction, to basically make some change for Bandai Namco, what should that fast food guy do? I think that person should go fucking unionize. Rather than complaining at the workplace where other employees are basically needing to hear your fucking bullshit, That hater should go and fucking figure out a means to literally unionize and to have some collective bargaining so everyone can succeed together. I don't think Nicholas is really caring enough to pursue those things, nor does he need to. But like, you need to be aware, you are that guy right now that's yelling and complaining about things that you are right about, but it gets to a point where people will say, holy fuck, shut up. And that is, again, the consequence of your action, and you can't make the cake and eat it too.
You're allowed to like something just like I'm allowed to not like something, just like I'm allowed to hate something. If you hate it, don't watch it. That's the problem. That's why we get what we get. You need people like me. I'm sorry.
If you hate it, don't watch it. How do you change a corporation's behavior? You hit their bottom line. You hit their wallets. Concord, video game, big disaster. All these woke DEI video games coming up. What do people do? They vote with the wallet. They say, fuck this video game, I don't play it. They realize, holy shit, this is a disaster. Stocks crash, management changes. They need to figure something else out to figure that out. Does the same example work for anime? Well, here's the thing. Just because you don't play the game doesn't mean people aren't making video essays about it. I think that having a spotlight onto something doesn't necessarily mean, like basically, you can cover and review something, and this won't just lead to producers thinking, oh my God, this is great, right? If more people are outspoken and condemn the actions of the production committee, and more people are aware of that, I think that is actually productive.
I'm just as much, if not more needed than the people praising this shit. Because I'm sorry, I think we could all agree, One Punch Man deserves better.
Here's a hot take. I think we do need Nicholas Light. And I know a lot of people right now are upset at me saying that, because you, again, are not looking at this in an objective way. You are emotional and have a bias against this guy. You hate this guy, so you're going to denounce him. I personally think that his influence and platform is very usable. Call me Ayano Koji, whatever you want. I think there is a way where Nicholas Light can represent the topics that we care about and make a movement that is productive and not like overtly toxic negativity. There is a way to condemn these things and coexist together in a productive way rather than us infighting. Why are we fucking infighting right now in the community? Straight up. Shouldn't we be fucking uniting? Why are we like literally just getting clipped out of context off of radicals on both fucking sides and fighting amongst ourselves? This is straight up identity politics all over again, where the working class, the fucking consumers, are arguing amongst each other while the corporate entities, they just get away with everything. We are literally fighting amongst ourselves for no fucking reasons. Why is this the case? Because humans are fucking retarded, myself included.
And I'm not saying One Punch Man deserves a better studio. I'm saying One Punch Man deserves a better committee, better higher ups that give the producers and the studios and the artists the resources and the time to really make something that's going to be historical and life anime game changing. But instead, they're not. They're treated like shit. And I'm over here defending this motherfucker, defending these studios, always talking out against like the work culture in Japan and MAPPA, the MAPPA situation. I don't want a MAPPA situation.
Why do they do this to him? If Nick is truly the beacon of hope and ideals of work-life balance and good corporate culture in Japan and the animation industry, why does it get hate on so much? Let's think about this critically. Why is it? His words are true. Why do you reject it? Is it because of the way it's packaged? Is it because of how he presents his content? Is it because he takes it too far? And over it gets annoying because this is something everyone already knows. He's too aggressive, he goes over the top. Again, I think that he has good intents. But the way that he presents himself is just like his reactions. Overtly exaggerated for sensationalism, and it doesn't reach the hearts of the audience. It will, like, they cannot relate to it. They find it off-putting no matter how good his words are.
I just want these animators, these artists, to be given the time and the resources to be able to give.
Why is Nicholas Light always having beef with fandoms like Lord of the Mysteries of One Punch Man? Again, these are just not even like the tip of the iceberg. There's been, like, you need to realize this motherfucker has been all the way back to fucking Taylor Swift K-pop stuff. This has been a occurring incident, right? And I always try to give him the benefit of the doubt. I do. I try to see, like, why is this happening? At a point, though, it gets so hard to constantly defend and defend and defend. And again, we can be on friendly terms, but not have to agree with everything, right? I think if I blindly glaze people, you are just a fucking sheep of an echo chamber. And there is no actual respect there. I think that someone to actually see the truth and, confront, and argue of things that they actually believe in is actually healthy. If everywhere you go, it smells like shit, is it the different places you've been? Or should you check your shoes? This analogy is mentioned to a lot of big creators too, who seems to hop from one fandom to another, and they cause controversy and outrage. No one else seems to incur these problems. Only they do, even though they also are speaking of the same opinions that other creators are saying. I've seen this time and time. Shit happened with Tectone too. He's constantly jumping from one mobile game to another, constantly getting caught up in drama. He does inevitably win the drama though, which is commendable with the Atsu stuff happening, or Ratsu, Enviosity for shit. But you have to wonder, this is a pattern of behavior. And I think the issue isn't really with what Nicholas Light says. That does matter, but I think it's the overall packaging of it. It's like the presentation of his ideas and the way that he takes it so far that it is so unlikable. No matter what things that you say, it becomes unlikable. He then gets all the fucking hate from his haters that's been, again, amassing over the years and years and years. The fact that people have his penis ready to fucking go on Twitter every 3 months, I think says a lot. There's a lot of schizo haters that's formed, parasocial relationships and hate him over the years, and his actions don't help it. It's again, sometimes it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. It's form over substance, like what Emperor Roselle would say from Lord of the Mystery. You know what I mean? And these things, I think, all come together where even though Nick has good intents, because of the way that he goes overboard and presents himself, many people reject him, and then inevitably drama like this happens.
The fans, what we all want, because
there's also the idea that obviously because he's the biggest creator, that I think is definitely a core problem. Not a problem, but the reason why he gets so shit on. Because again, he is the face. Many other people, I'm sure, are straight up shitting on JC's staff. But it's not profitable to shit on them. I'm sure there's so many other people that are saying things that, are condemning Nick for what he did, even though he didn't. You know what I mean? But why hate them when that doesn't get traction? Because at the end of the day, again, we're all clout chasing. It's all social media. It's all for impressions and engagement, right?
At the end of the day, they are fans just as much as I am, just as much as we are. We just want what's best. Let's stop labeling it as rage bait and hate. I am so fucking sick of these YouTubers. I'm not going to say names.
Say it. And say my name right now, pussy. Fucking say it.
People I thought were friends to me.
Say it.
Saying it's rage baiting for views.
I think he is rage baiting for views, though. No, straight up. I think he is. And here's the thing. Is he doing it consciously or not? That is the biggest question that I don't have an answer to. Nick, I like you. But when I look at these situations happening over and over again with specifically you in multiple different fandoms, I really have to ask, are you aware of how you present yourself? Because here's the benefit of the doubt. No matter what, the outcome is a rage bait. You have enraged every fucking body, no matter how good your words may be. And this is the outcome. The outcome won't change. So I care about intent. Are you intentionally rage baiting? Or are you not? And I think it's hard for me to believe that someone as savvy as Nicholas Light, someone that knows how to, again, navigate through controversy, to use the flames of controversy to their side, it's honestly smart. Genuinely. I think that if your goal is to just increase the numbers and get as much visibility, you need a lot of haters. You can't just have a protected community of glazers. You need the hate as well as the glaze constantly engaging with each other to grow bigger and bigger. And at this point, is he doing it with the awareness or is he not? No one will ever know. Just like the shock collar incident. Who knows if it was a shock collar? We'll never fucking know. But what we can do is to paint a picture of plot the dots in the graph with different incidences and examples happening. So again, I do believe that he's rage baiting. But is he doing it while being aware of not? I have no clue. But it is irrefutable. The outcome that has happened every fucking season with something trending, the anger and the frustrations baited by Nicholas Light, that is the definition of rage baiting.
Motherfucker, you can suck all the dick you want on a daily basis. You can say everything is good, everything is amazing. It's not. It is not. Okay? It is not. You could glaze everything. My days of doing that is over. I'm trying to be honest. I'm trying to be as me and as real and as...
Has he glazed things over and over again? I don't really know.
Honest as somebody can be, as I can be. And that's what you're going to get from me. So to all the...
I think that Nick should be honest and should be genuinely himself, but should also have the awareness of how he rubs off with people. Right? To just triple down on this behavior. And listen, it's a ticking time bomb. Look at my Lord of the Mysteries drama video. Right? Look at my fucking Lord of the Mysteries drama video. What did I say in these videos, by the way? Kaka TV. Lord of the Mysteries. If I do this, what shows up? There's so many videos that we've covered, right? Over and over. Oh, this is a, do not click on this one. And the reason that I'm bringing these videos up is I mentioned in the video that I don't think he's going to listen to any of the advice because who's going to tell him? He's got 1 million plus subscribers. He's the biggest. This is like Kanye West who decides that no one is worth listening to because you're not better than me, right? So I said at that time, if you keep double downing, triple downing on your behavior, it's a ticking time bomb of when it's going to happen again. And it's happened yet again. And it's like, I don't think this is in your best interest, man. You're already so big. All you have to do is just have fun and entertain your audience. But like the more that you go on these other campaigns, whether you're aware of not, right? Just having friction and volatility, again, your intent is true, but the way you present yourself is so undigestible. This doesn't mean censor yourself, but sometimes if there's a lot of people complaining and crying, I think self-reflection should be done to say, is this really who I am? Am I really presenting the best side of me? Because there is a version of Nicholas Light that inspires me, that like I think is very entertaining, and there's a productive way to go on about this, but recently it just feels very just not that. It feels like he's getting caught up in all this fucking emotional rage bait from other, Twitter accounts. There's a lot of, again, hate onto him. And I think that it's so hard to be mentally sane when you are this big, especially when you get in to all these different controversies, right? And people can make mistakes. People can become warped. And I think that this is literally a byproduct of somebody that has gone through so much fucking hate online that he's gonna just be the villain if he wants to.
Motherfuckers with this toxic positivity, this, at least we got animation, at least it's back. Fuck out of here with that shit, bro.
So does that mean that if something shows that has, like, for example, the ending moment with Garo pulling up with the martial arts against the Royal Ripper, should no one be allowed to get hyped about that like some things are going up? Should we just be a doomer entirely and just give up? I feel like that's loser behavior. I feel like we should acknowledge that it's shit, but doesn't mean you should constantly just be doomer and just pray in the downfall. We should, if in fact anything, hope that like it's gonna be good, right? Expect the worst, but like basically hope for the best, but like prepare for the worst. Like everyone here is just basically saying, give us something. If we're already fucked, at least let's have some fun with it.
Criticizing people that criticize the anime. Let people talk about this shit. Seriously, bro. It's like when I tried talking about Takopi's Original Sin and people were mad that I was talking too much about it. God forbid I fucking talk. And
I mean, again, it's the problem with being number one. And the more incidents like this you happen, the more people will recognize you off of these different dramas, and they will just read headlines and not even listen to your videos. Many people won't even listen to his videos, to his words, and jump to conclusions off of headlines because that's how people are coded online. And the more, and it doesn't matter how right he may be, I'm just saying that the outcome of haters, like just literally uniting, it's gonna get worse. It's not in your good interest. And if you are aware of that and you're fine with it, hey man, you made this bed.
I'm not just coming all over the place about how amazing it is. Like, get out of here with that shit, bro. I'm here to discuss. I'm here to be honest.
Okay.
I'm not here to be a slave, enslaved to an audience, enslaved to a culture, or enslaved to anything. I'm here to be free. Chiuda, just like fucking Aaron, right? Anyways, I just wanted to get that off my chest. I thought this was actually fucking hilarious. I'm gone. Sayonara.
And here's the perplexing thing about Nicholas Light. There are parts where he's not wrong. He has good intent, but he gets so emotionally caught that sometimes I think he makes mistakes, just like any normal human being. This tweet, to interpret this as singling you out when this person has no fucking awareness of who you are, I think he's too caught up in the bullshit. And it looks so bad that, like, no matter how true your words may be, people will take this video and brand you as something else entirely, and it doesn't help your cause. Like, and here's the thing, right? What I've realized is it doesn't matter how correct you are. You're still an asshole. Someone told me that one time, and I still thought that I was still right. I was like, no, I'm still not wrong. But that's definitely a thing where the way that you present yourself is so off-putting that people won't listen to you anymore. And whether or not you want to change yourself, changing yourself doesn't mean bending to the whims of chat. Sometimes you do need to have yourself accountable and do self-reflection and realize, is this really who I am? And the way that Nicholas Light presents himself in this video, misinterpreting this tweet, is absolutely a fucking mistake. This director, I think, is coming out pleading for mercy, saying he's so sad that the fans are disappointed because this is an impossible situation and he feels dishonored. Straight up, this is fucking Edo period Japan. We watching fucking Rurouni Kenshin or something. He gonna fucking harakiri himself, bro. He gonna fucking do seppuku. That's the kind of honor that I sense from this tweet. An hour ago, the director deleted his account on Twitter. People will somehow point the finger at me. Yes, because this is literally off of you, though. Even though he doesn't specifically mention the fact that Nicholas Light has been shown to be blocked on Twitter by apparently Shin Nagai Anime. Apparently Nick fucking tweeted about that, right? The timeline of this shit happening, does it just like not make sense? I think that there's many people that is, dragging Nick's name, in a very disingenuous way, low-key. Lone Wolf is for sure definitely part of the other spectrum, where he is just hating on Nick, therefore he's gonna let this guy know, and he's gonna be told, you gotta block this guy's farming videos off of you. I think that the director literally did block him and went off of Twitter because of Nick's actions. Specifically because of him? No, I think many different, there's different moving parts, but Nick is absolutely at the centerpiece of this. And I don't think he realizes his actions with this video. They're okay with the director being thrown to the wolves to be a scapegoat. I'm not okay with that, which is why I'm using my platform to go after the committee that did it to him. But this video is very confusing. It's such a weird coded video where he's saying he's now blaming the director. Yet when he's reading this shit and talking about this tweet, it sounds like Nick is painting himself as the fucking victim here. And you specifically titled your video, "The director of One Punch Man Season 3 is upset at me, my response." You then misinterpret the tweet and label yourself as a victim. So isn't the most logical, intuitive conclusion here that Nick is the reason for this? Am I fucking crazy right now? Am I being gaslit? Yes, I called him a hentai director. That's what he was, in case no one knew that. Why would they give him the project? Because he's a sacrificial lamb. They knew how fans would react, and that weird people online go after him. It's truly sad. Again, the whole hentai director thing I find so hard to fucking just agree with, because Yusuke Murata, the GOAT, the amazing artist, this dude, right? This guy is also a hentai artist. Why would you even I hate this take from the fucking normies that's spreading this around, because it's just like, oh, it's a hentai director, he worked on it, he must be bad. That's not how it works. Plenty of other industry experts have worked on hentai. I guarantee you that if you think about an amazing anime that you've watched and you look at the staff, I'm sure someone in there is going to be involved in fucking H-related projects. Currently on vacation. I'll definitely be talking about this in a video this weekend. And what do you think he's going to say in that video? I think that Nick is going to portray himself as a martyr. That he is fighting the good fight and that you shouldn't give up. That the toxic positivity, the what should we call that? The alt left? I don't even fucking know, right? That the cult of toxic positivity is ruining, you know, this industry known as anime, and that you shouldn't give up, and that you should go out there and voice your opinions about the truth, because if you don't, then you will be fed slop. But again, that kind of positioning is very unaware, because no one other than crazy people like a couple Twitter accounts are going saying this is amazing, there's no fault with it. From my experience, from my interaction, from reading all these different threads, from the fandom, from the communities, different places, my overall impression is people are frustrated and upset, and they're not happy with the product. They're becoming more sentient and aware of how the corporate structure works, and is able to realize that we're fucked. So at this point, what should we do? Should we decide to have a good time? Or should we choose to just be shitty and negative over and again about things that we're already aware of and being unproductive? If you truly care about making change, go fucking make a campaign in Japan domestically and vote and try to change shit at Bandai Namco. Because like talking shit on YouTube, it's not really going to do anything, and we're absolutely clout chasing and farming the negative engagement. This is just the truth, myself included. So it's just, again, a frustrating situation where we're literally fighting amongst ourselves. We could choose to acknowledge that it is just bad and meme on it and have fun and watch it for what it is. Or we could fight amongst ourselves as, you know, the director gets harassed for all this fucking bullshit. And again, it's the way that Nick presents himself. He has good intent. He has good ideas. But he goes overboard with it. People find it very annoying. And if you can't be aware of that, like, bro, come on. Like, this is not helpful to you. This is going to make you look worse and worse. And like I said in Lord of the Mysteries, what do you think is going to happen in winter? What do you think is going to happen in January 2026? Hopefully there's no crazy drama happening. I hope that we'll just be glazing Jujutsu Kaisen and Frieren and shit like that. But this is yet another dot in the graph of a pattern of behavior where somehow Nick is saying the opinions that myself and other people are also saying, yet why is it that he's the only one getting the hate? Well, it's probably because he's the biggest creator, right? You fucking tell me. Next video, we're going to be reading these. There's a bunch of different, you know, threads and shit going on. We'll be reading that, okay? Link to the video. See you next time.